Hello everybody and welcome to Lauren Loves Color. This is Lauren. This is actually take 2 for me, so this is going to be a little bit interesting. I had a little bit of a snafu with some of my filming. I have filmed this once. No, I've actually filmed it twice. This is my 3rd time. I'm using a little bit of a new filming program, and so the lighting was way off, and it was almost like you couldn't see the pages inside the book. So we're going to try this again. I think I have this fixed now. Welcome to my completed pages for March. This is going to be a little bit of a record month for me. I actually have completed pages out of 26 books, 50 pages completed total, which is a record for me. It's phenomenal. Some of these were easier and simpler, so I can kind of see why I got to 50 pages so quickly, but also it was just a fun month to color, I guess. So if you haven't heard my April goals, I've got a lot going on with work this next month. I will not complete 50 pages. That's totally okay. Honestly, 50 is probably too much for me. I need to slow it down a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started and get into the good stuff. So the first thing that I have for you is and I'm going to have to find these pages, I apologize, is my completed pages for my Buddy Color with Emily, who's at the Butterfly Hater. She's Color Me Impressed on YouTube. You will have seen me do this page if you watched my kind of color in chat, my finishing touches color in chat, and you'll see this lovely girl. Emily and I actually decided to buddy color, and we would pick each other's color palette, which was really fun. And that's because she has a very different coloring style from me. She's very much a neutral girl, likes neutral colors. I'm very much the opposite of that. I like light and bright. And so she picked this color palette for me. I think it turned out absolutely stunning. There's a lot going on here. There's alcohol marker, there's stickles, there's jelly roll metallics, there's jelly roll glaze, there's jelly roll stardust. Just about anything that you can throw at it is in this picture. I absolutely love it. I did realize on the last video that I did, I said that I would show you kind of where I came from. I stopped coloring in this book, and the reason being is because I really disliked the 2 pages that I completed in here. The very first one that I think this is one of the first coloring pages I ever completed. This was back in August of 2020, and you can see I didn't really know how to use alcohol markers very well, so there's a lot of streaking and spotting. And then I tried to use a whole bunch of different mediums. I even tried to use this is paint, watercolor, and doesn't work very well on Amazon paper. And then I tried to use colored pencil, and that just looked really splotchy. So this I wasn't terribly happy or excited with, but like I said, one of my very first pages I ever completed. And then I also did this one back here. And this one too, lots of splotching from the alcohol marker. She had a really streaky face. I got really upset about the way that her face turned out. I didn't quite realize that the jelly roll metallic, if you use it in large spaces like what I tried to do to make these copper pots, it just looks really streaky, splotchy, not good. And so I put this book aside because I really thought like I'm just not going to be successful in coloring this book. And Emily really challenged me to come back and to try again. And I honestly can say I am just so proud of how far I've come and so proud of how this turned out. It looks spectacular. So thank you, Emily, for pushing me forward with this. I have now moved my Hannah Lynn book from my bookshelf of shame, which is where I keep the books I just don't plan on coloring in, and have now moved it into kind of my regular cycle of books to color in. So if you want a buddy color out of this book, let me know. You'll see I did a lot of non-color by number this month, which is very odd for me. But I'm starting to feel a little more confident in my coloring and wanting to branch out a little bit on my own. Also, speaking of Emily, I have her completely to blame for this book. This is the Eriy Trace Around the World series. This is the one that's World Festivals. My very first Eriy book that I have owned, and I'm in love with it. All you have to do is simply trace. So if you're intimidated by Eriy books and you can actually trace, then you're going to be in good company with this book. I went ahead and completed 3 pages out of here. All of these are broken out by months. So in the very beginning, in Japanese, it tells you which festivals and events for each month, and then you can kind of follow along throughout the year. So this one was for March. It was St. Patrick's Day, and for some reason I didn't take the tags out of here. I completed this one, which was the dog sledding. And then I completed one more here, which was Easter. And so I just couldn't stop once I started and really had fun looking at this book. There's not a lot of flip throughs of this book. I actually posted, and I'll try to, if I remember, link it up in the little eye here, or I guess here for you. We'll try to post the link to the flip through that I did, the flip through and review of this book that I did, because there are definitely some tips that I learned in regards to the types of mediums you can use in this book. And then I do a full flip through and kind of explain how I can read the Japanese in this book, the app that I use to do that, and kind of my plans for this book. This is a phenomenal book. I got this one off of Etsy. Highly recommend. Did a lot of color Questopia this month. Flowers and Gardens, you guys know this is a sentimental book to me. I helped create the new color palette for here, so this was one that I completed. I just straight colored this, I think, with my Copics. And then I did this one with Meg's Art Atrium. I kind of went a little wild with the gel pen, with the white gel pen and the sparkle gel pen on this, but ultimately I like the effect and think it turned out pretty well. So Meg, thank you for coloring this with me. I reached out to her to see if she would color it for me because she did a really beautiful flip and review of this book. So I wanted to take the opportunity to color in it, and it looks phenomenal. I'm going to bring this guy. So this is actually going to be a year-long color along that buddy color that I am doing with Ren from Ren's Coloring Craze. Her and I usually buddy color out of Color Questopia books because we both have a ton and want to continue to get them done, and so we motivate each other to color out of our books. And I mentioned to her just this morning actually that Unicorn was the one that I wanted to complete next. So we've only colored 2 pages out of here. We have colored this page, and I told her that I wanted to buddy color this page, but she had already done it, so I just went ahead and colored it anyways. So I did this page, and then last month we actually did this one. And what I'm doing with each of these is you can kind of see on the horn, I'm using dual metallic for the horns, for the unicorns on each of these pages. I think it's just a fun, nice effect. And so I have my page marked because we're planning on buddy coloring this page for the month of April. We're going to do 2 pages a month. So we're going to do this page and this next page for the month of April. And if we decide to do more, we'll do more. But our goal is to complete this book by the end of the year. So if we do 2 pages a month, we've done 2, so there's 18 more, so it's about 9 months. So yeah, so we should make it by the end of the year if we continue to color 2 pages a month out of here. So if you want to join us, we've only colored 2 pages. If you want to join us in that buddy color, reach out to me on Instagram. Let me put that one back. Next Color Questopia book, I did a ton of Color Questopia this month, is out of the You Are Loved, and I did a buddy color in here. I did this with Ren, and we colored this page. She let me pick the page. I instantly thought of this one because as soon as I got this book, I've been saving this page because this was the page that I've really wanted to do since the very beginning. I added just some white gel pen detail on here and love, love, love how this turned out. So this is fantastic. So thank you, Ren, for coloring in this one with me. I look forward to doing more out of this book. It's a really fun one. This was Sugar Skulls, one of their newer books that they came out with, and I did 1 page out of here. I did this guy, this kind of funky looking guy here. I love his mustache and his hair. I just think he's so cool. And then I used distress inks for the background. This was me kind of testing and playing with some of my distress inks, so I really liked that. Some of the pages in here are kind of like cutesy and fun, and then there are some like this guy who's absolutely terrifying, and so I will probably pull this book out. I'll probably pull this book out, I think, when it's closer to Halloween and stuff and get some more stuff done in here. But it's kind of one of those things. Color Questopia is one of those books that I have just sitting next to me. There are a whole collection of books that I have, and I just kind of will pick a book sometimes and just start going. And so I love these. I love the black backgrounds. Let's move on to Sunlife drawing. So I did the color by number Christmas Mosaic. This one I'm continuing to color in for Danny Button's Jolly Coloring 2021. I did 2 pages in here. I was testing some color combinations I kind of mentioned in my April plans that I'm planning on updating my color charts to include like Sunlife, Kira, etc. And some of the colors I needed to finalize were my Copic markers. So I was testing out a few different colors and stuff in these 2 pages. So I did this Santa guy here. And then I did this as a buddy color with ER Joy. Elizabeth, she's at ER Joy on Instagram. And so we did this one as well. So it's really fun. Hers looks really, really cute as well. And so I always know with the Sunlife books, as soon as I'm onto the horizontal pages, that I am halfway done with the book. So I'm now over halfway done with this and so excited because this will be another book that I complete this year. Let's move on to Shershneva. Definitely one of my favorite artists this year that I've discovered for 2021. She came out with this color by number quest circles. Circles are the favorite shape, I think, out of these kind of color quest books that I own. And so this is the page that I completed out of here. I just used fine Bic intensity markers. You don't have to use the ultra fine. The fine markers actually work great. Those were perfect. I think permanent markers are a really good choice for these types of books. And I just love the combination of colors. Is that a tree? Is that a plant? What is that? I need someone to tell me, because when I colored this, I was like, oh, it's a plant. But then what's the red? It can't be a person because it's only, these are greens and then reds. Because I was like, is that like jeans and like a sweater? Like, clearly this looks like a curtain. So what is that? What is it? I need y'all to tell me. I've been scratching my head a little bit, so I do need y'all to help me and tell me what you think that is. Please comment down below, because it's been torturing me for many days now, and I just need to find out what that is. Okay. Let's talk about Kira again. Color by Color Spring. Absolutely, 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 absolutely love this series. This is one of her slightly more complicated color by colors. I shouldn't say complicated, a little more complex because it uses such a wide range of colors. But I completed this page as a buddy color with Sonia, and she's Sonia's Mixed Media on YouTube. Anybody I buddy color with, I will just validate, and I will put their information down below in the description box. But she's Sonia Batten on Instagram. And so we did this beautiful page of the flowers in the vase. And then when I very first got this book for my flip and review, I did this page of this bumblebee and the little ladybugs, which I think is really cute. I call my daughter Bug, and so I dress her in ladybug stuff a lot. And so I just love ladybugs. I think they're so cute. So this is a really, if you don't own this book, you need to. It's a really, really fantastic book. I really look forward to coloring more out of here just because the illustrations are gorgeous. This was my most colored in book in March when I got this book in the mail, and it took forever. This was after we had the freeze in Texas, and so there was like a 2 or 3 week delay in this book getting to me. So I was watching everybody on Instagram and ColorTube coloring out of this book, and I was so jealous, and I fell in love with it as soon as I got it. It's kind of a smaller version. Like you'll see, this is like her spring book, and then this is the Color by Colors book, so it's like a mini version. And I will tell you, these types of books really appeal to me because they don't take so much time. These take like less than an hour to color, and they're gorgeous, and the color palette is so much smaller than like the other books, so there's not as many colors used. So I think I'm now over halfway. I think I completed like 13 pages out of this book, so I'm over halfway done with this book. So I know there's a big chunk there I haven't colored. I think I skipped to here. I think this is the first one that I did. So I did this fish here. I did this one. And this one. And this one. This one's really pretty. And I mean, even some of these that are kind of these random color palettes, like I love how they turned out. And that purple and orange, isn't that pretty? And this is just really bright and colorful. And this was gorgeous. Like, I love the color combinations that she uses. I think they're beautiful. Also, go follow her on Instagram because she has now posted a couple of books. I think her Puzzle Animals book, and then she also posted her other Mandala book, which is more of like the traditional, like you have to color in the lines. It's a mosaic color by number book. She's posted those on Instagram for free. Not Instagram, on her website for free. So you can go and check them out and download a copy for free. So yeah, hit her up. It's www.kiracoloring.com is her website. Go download you some books. Get them for free. Let's go into my friend Sachdeva and his brilliance. This is the Easter color by number, and I colored 3 pages out of here this month. It was not this one. It was this one of these cute little guys here. I use my Cali Art brush markers. I color in the base color, and then I outline in a slightly darker color. And yes, when I post my color charts, I will tell you what color I use as my darker color for, it's my outline color in my Cali Art set. I did this page, which was a little bit of a story, but I'm going to keep it brief. Basically, I messed up on the background. It was supposed to be a light blue color, and I was coloring with a permanent marker that I had that was light blue, and it ran out of ink about halfway in, and so I picked up another light blue marker, started going, but they clearly didn't match, like, even closely at all. It looked a hot, funky mess, and so I just took my Magic Fly paint acrylic markers and just went over the background in this light blue, and then the edges were looking kind of funky, and so I took the washi tape that I had just purchased and just made kind of a washi tape border. I actually wanted to do the washi tape as the background, but that didn't work out very well, so this is what we went with, and I actually like the way that it looked. I think it turned out pretty good. It looks kind of funny in my book because I don't have any other page that way, but we're making it work. And then I colored one more page in here. I colored this cute guy here. I love this book. I love these series. They're just simple enough, but they're add some complexity. Again, the colors that Sachin uses are just awesome. So yeah, love and enjoy this book. I probably need to color more out of it because it is not Easter yet. It probably will be Easter by the time, Easter will have passed by the time you see this video, but for me today is the 31st of March. This is the 50 Animal Mandalas color by number by Sachdeva. It's 50 pages. This sucker is huge. This is going to be perfect. I have a hashtag going on, which is hashtag April Animal Coloring for the month of April. I looked at this book potentially too as an option to color in for the month. I did this cute horse here. I used Distress Inks as the background. I used my Teo Tree markers and then some white gel pen for highlights, and I love how it turned out. If you are looking on Instagram, the people posting pictures out of this book, dude, it's awesome. The colors that he uses in these pictures, kudos to Sachin. Like I said, Sachin's one of my favorite color by number artists because of the colors he chooses in his photos. I mean, they're awesome. Also, he has started, if you haven't seen, I think he did it for this, I know he's done it for this next book. And what other book did he just come out with? He came out with this book and one other book recently. That is the non-color by number version. He's going to start publishing, I don't know if he's going to do it on all of his books. He mentioned to me that he definitely wanted to start doing it. This book, and there's another book that he did, and I just can't remember which one it was, that he's posting them in a non-color by number version. So if you don't like color by number and you want to do non-color by number, it's like you like his illustrations, but you wish that you could choose your own colors, he's actually coming out with a non-color by number version. So I think that's really cool and exciting for people who like that. This is his new stained glass series. So this is the first in the series. This is Nautical Designs. I don't know what he's going to come out with next, but I think he told me he's coming out with something this week. Yeah, he did. He told me he's coming out with something this week. So hopefully I'll see something soon, but I have to own his books. They are some of my absolute favorite. I did this turtle here as a buddy color with E.R. Joy Elizabeth on Instagram, and I used stickles on the bubbles. I used stickles on the little spots on this turtle and kind of around the shell here. And then I used alcohol markers and then did kind of my outlining method in the darker color, and love, love, love this. I need to do more out of this book because I have seen Elizabeth color a ton out of here and the images are stunning and I am jealous, and I need to color more out of this book. I did one other page in here, this one here with this kind of lifesaver, these little fish. This is the first image I did out of here. And again, I used stickles on the bubbles here, so there's some definite shine. And then I actually used crayons as the background. I think it was Wren. was it you, Ren, who started using crayons as background? And I was like, that's a brilliant idea. And so I stole the idea. And so I've been using that too. And I love crayons for the background. They just make like kind of this subtle texture that I really, really like. They're easier and faster to use than colored pencils. And then that way you don't have to use a ton of alcohol marker, but I wanted to use alcohol marker on this page because I think it's stunning. But there's one page in particular. Where is it that I want to do next? I saw Elizabeth post this one right here, this plain old looking lighthouse that you wouldn't think anything of. When you color this, it is unbelievably stunning. The colors that he has on the sky and kind of on the land are stunning. So I will be doing this picture next. I want to do this picture next. Hopefully you will see this in my April wrap up. Moving along, let's look at my Circulism books. We will start with Sea Life by Eclipse Arts. This book is bomb. It is so colorful and pretty. This one I did as a buddy color with Amanda Downey. We did this little porpoise guy, and thank you, Amanda, for coloring this with me. I haven't had very many buddy color requests for this book. I don't know that many people have it or just don't think about to buddy color this, but I love it. This guy is so cute, and these images are so stunning. Like, they're just like, I mean, look at that. Look at that turtle. Isn't he pretty? And then I also have done, I didn't do all of these this month, but I just want to show you. I also did this guy, this penguin, and he is so awesome. The paper on these are just really, really great. And then I did in Circulism art books, Mandala's Shade. I did, not this page, I did this page for the month of March and think it looks great. I love these up against the background, like just this turquoise, or really this kind of teal color against the browns and yellows and reds. It just looks really, really stunning. So I look forward to coloring some more out of this book. Yeah, this is a really, really great book. Next, let's go on to some of my miscellaneous stuff. So this was sent to me this month for review. End of the West is the name of the author. He sells these PDFs on Etsy. This is something that I did a couple of things on camera for. I did the background with distress inks and used some stencils for the music notes, and I love it. I use alcohol markers to color him. I use some glossy accents for his eyes. Jelly roll glaze for the buttons on his shirt. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Some Jelly Roll metallic for kind of the knobs on the base. And so I absolutely love this page. This was a PDF and he sent it to me just kind of for review, and it was just fun and really relaxing to color. So I'm really appreciative to the artist for sending that to me, and you can find these if you're interested on Etsy. Woodland Hygge, this was sent to me by Debbie. This is her first coloring book. She is at Color Crazy Colorist on Instagram. She is fantastic and super, super sweet. And so she sent this book to me for review, and I have colored a couple of pages out of here. I really, really love this book. Just the illustrations, like they're just simple but whimsical and fun. So I did this one here. Isn't he cute? This was actually the cover image, and I didn't really quite realize that when I was coloring it. I have some Spectrum Noirs that are kind of called an antique set, so it uses some kind of antique color, so they already went together. I just used that set of markers to just straight color here. And then for the background, I actually used Crayola chalk and a pastel pusher that Nisi calls it, which is really a Dollar Tree finger cover that you use to kind of smudge some of the chalk around the page, so it kind of works like pastels. And I really, really love this. I think this looks fantastic. I love the look of the chalk in the background. I need a little more practice with it to keep it from kind of showing some of these lines, these kind of harsher lines here. But I was doing this rather quickly too, and this was just something relaxing and fun just for myself. So really love how that page turned out. And then I also got to play around on one of my last videos with my Jane Davenport pastels, and really love how the background turned out here. I used a combination of blue and green, and then I used alcohol markers with a color palette that I just got off of Google searching, and I used some white gel pen for some accents and stuff on here, and think that looks really, really cute as well. So Debbie is working on a new book, and she's kind of talked to me a little bit about it, and what I will tell you is that I think if you are a color by number person, you are really going to enjoy it, but it is not color by number. And I think if you are a non-color by number person, I think you are going to enjoy it as well. I think she is creating a book that is very unique. I haven't seen anything quite like it before, and I am super, super excited about it. So I cannot wait to see more from Debbie. If you've watched ColorTube, you will have seen a ton of people review that book, and I think everybody has really raving reviews about it. Magical Unicorn, color by number. Did this page right here. I used my Tombow dual brush tip markers, and I just don't like water brush markers. I just don't like water markers in general. I just don't like the streakiness and the way that it looks. I kind of like the color scheme, like it's bright and fun and colorful, but water markers just are not my favorite, especially for something with larger spaces like this. So I have a subscriber who told me that she used crayons, and so I may actually try that for this book and see if I like it. But I mean, the page looks fine. You have to use something water-based because as you can see, these pages are double-sided. So we're going to try something again. I may try my Crayola Super Tips and stuff as well. But even like with my Tombows, which aren't like juicy, they had a little bit of spotting on the backside. Like it's not bad. I don't even know if you can really see that. It's not horrible. But there was another subscriber that said that she used Super Tips and didn't have a problem. So I may try a couple combinations because I really love the illustrations in this book. But I've got to find something that works well on this paper. I did also buy some workable fixative after watching Shayna in Colorland. I need it honestly for the pastels too that I used in Debbie's book because they are rubbing off a little bit. So I may try also what Shayna did, which is to spray workable fixative and then use water markers, and it actually keeps the streakiness from happening. So I may try that too and see if that works. So we'll try again this next month. This is one of my 10 books to finish. Love is Like a Rainbow, Just Add Water. This is kind of my just easy and relaxing book, and I did this page here of these two cute kitty cats. And don't you love that like crinkly noise? Oh, I love it. I know some people hate it, but I love like the crinkly feeling of the kind of water on the paper. But that's kind of beside the point. So I did this page here, and if you follow Michelle Kits and Caboodles, you'll know that her kitty cat, Oreo, passed away this past month, and so when I saw this page, I knew I instantly had to do this in his honor, and so that is what I did. And so yeah, so I just wish anybody who's lost an animal, I think Misty from Country Gals Coloring Place, I think she also lost some animals this past month, and that is just, it's really, really hard. So just my heart and prayers and thoughts go out to you, and I just pray for healing over time. So this was just a nice, fun page to color. Next, let's get into some Belba Family. So Belba Family, Stone Mosaic 2, my favorite book from Belba Family. I'm just going to say that right now. My favorite book series from Belba Family. And I did 2 pages out of here. I plan on completing this book this year, hopefully. I think I'm about halfway done with it now. I did this ice cream page. I used my Copic markers in here. I was just testing out some of the colors. So this is the actual cover image that you see on the front. So I did this one here. And then I did this one here, and so I did this bird too, so I think they look nice. I really have enjoyed coloring all the images in here thus far. They're really, really fun. Yeah, I think I'm about halfway done, if not fully halfway done, so I'm getting there. This is kind of my book that I pull out when I'm watching TV, because it's pretty mindless and easy. This is a Belba Family new release, Mystery Mosaics Wow Africa. I did a flip-in review on this book, and Belba Family sent this to me for review. I love their Wow Animal series. Oh gosh, where is the page that I did? Here. So I love this series because I love the uniqueness of the images. I used the dot method on here, which I'm just not going to use that on these big 3x3s anymore because I don't like the way that this looks. I feel like it's too hard to see the definition and the differences in the colors. And maybe I just didn't pick good enough contrasting colors, but I just don't think it's easy to see. It is this family in a caravan looking at this elephant, but actually if I had even colored this in on the way, these are cheetah prints. Each of these areas is a cheetah print, and I think the X method might just work better. So I'm going to go back to doing that in these larger books, and hopefully try that again with another image in here and see how I like it, because I did like it in some of the other books by Bellbo Family. I just think these small squares, I really thought that the dot method would work, but I don't know. It just doesn't work out. The last two Bellbo Family books I have colored in with the dot method, I haven't really liked the way that they turned out. The image is beautiful, but I just don't like the way that I see it. So next we're going to move on to Jade Summer. This is the Color by Number Mandalas. Danielle, look away. I have a small competition going on with her to see who can finish who can finish this book first. So I obviously used towel tree markers for this page. I completed this page. What I don't like about the Jade Summer Color by Number books is that number 1 is white for them. So I keep looking at this page going like, oh, I didn't complete some sections. Well, they're intended to be white. But I just don't like that. I just wish that they would just not number their white. I did this page with my Copics. I was still testing out some of my Copic markers in this book as well to kind of test some of my color matches. And I do think I have good color matches for my Copics. I will say there's a lot of yellow, green, and orange in this book. People kind of mention that as they've been coloring out of it, and they're absolutely right. They like their orange, yellow, and green. This one I did in kind of every other color. I did gel pen, and I did then alcohol markers. I was trying to use up some of my gel pens. I have a lot of I don't have a ton of gel pens. I shouldn't say that. I have the Color It set of gel pens, of glitter gel pens, and then I have just some kind of random sporadic, Dollar Tree and the Flair ones. Gel pens are just a delicate thing for me. I like to use them to embellish things, but I don't really like to use them to color because I think they color kind of splotchy. And I think probably the sweet spot is not every other color in gel pen, but maybe every third color. So this one's kind of okay to me. I still feel like it's got a little too much gel pen on it. And then I did this one for Gel Pen Jam. So this one was totally done in gel pen. And I really like the colors, but I don't necessarily like that it's all in gel pen. I just don't like that effect. So moving forward, I will probably just straight color these in alcohol markers or do like maybe every third color in gel pen. So yeah, I know Danielle didn't do any out of this book this month, but she has a tendency that once she gets started on this book, she like goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So I know she'll catch up quickly. So I'm just going to kind of try to keep my pace. Steady wins the race, right? So I am hoping that Steady does win the race and that Danielle doesn't decide to do like a, video of watch me finish one book in a day or something crazy so that I can keep up. Another Jade Summer book. This is probably one of my absolute favorite Jade Summer books is my Chibi Girls Grayscale. I did another buddy color in here. I did this one. With Samantha, who's at Text Gal Coloring on Instagram. And yeah, look at that shine. I chose just, I think, some random colors to do. I kind of picked out a color palette with the motorcycle, like this purple and teal and yellow. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I would have changed, like, made the motorcycle teal and her outfit purple with some yellow. I don't know. The colors seem a little funky to me, but some of this stuff with these Chibi Girls is kind of fantasy anyways. I used some Copic markers for her skin, and it looks real streaky. I'm not quite sure why, but that kind of threw me off a little bit. But, I mean, overall, I think it looks really good. I do like the colors. I used some Jelly Roll glaze on her eyes as well to give it some extra detail. And yeah, I think overall it looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with it. This was also for the Extreme Scavenger Hunt Prompt Motorcycle. So I was glad I got this page done. I love buddy coloring in here. Please, 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 please reach out to me if you want a buddy color in this book. Because as you can see, I have a lot of pages. I think I've done maybe 4 or 5 out of here. So I have a lot of pages to go, and definitely need to color more out of here. Next, this is Deborah Muller's Spring Awakening Color by Number. I had a buddy color in here with Michaela Renee. She is at Coloring by Mickey. And yeah, I did this cute kitty cat here and thinks he looks really good. It's funny, alcohol markers are kind of funny. They misbehave a little bit on this paper. Where's the other image that I colored? Like this one here. You see how splotchy some of that looks? That's not me. That's like the way that the paper makes the alcohol marker look. So it's a little odd, but I just have to kind of learn to get over it. I mean, overall the pages look really nice. And so, but it's like they drink your alcohol markers. So it's like you need some really, really juicy markers to color in these books. I've noticed that on my Playful Pets book too, but that is a smaller space that you're coloring in. So the splotchiness isn't so noticeable like it is in the Spring Awakening book. All right, next. Do we talk about it? Do we not talk about it? This was a book that was recommended to me by Amazon. And I picked it up for a couple of reasons. Number one, I picked it up because it's funny. I also picked it up because I absolutely love penguins. I have a hashtag going along for the month of April that is April Animal Coloring. And so this has animals in it. And it's color by number. And so I actually completed a page out of here. You can see my flip through on Instagram of this page. I think I did a flip and review of this as well. It's just kind of a random, funky, quirky book. But I colored this guy here. I actually really, really like the illustrations in this book, I'll be honest. The animals, like, look how cute they are. She actually did a really, really good job illustrating the animals in here. The color palettes are simple. It's kind of a smaller size book, which just appeals to me. And so I actually had a ton of fun coloring in here. I just grabbed some random colors and just kind of went to town. And so I was even extra and did some Jelly Roll glaze to kind of go around the outlines of the panda bear because it was hard to see. The really unfortunate matter with this book is that I picked a brown, and I picked a brown that was too dark, and so then I ended up going to this lighter brown. But the dark brown is right here in between his legs. So it kind of looks that not only did he have some gas, but also possibly an accident happened. So we're not going to talk about it. I'm just going to leave that there, and we're going to move on. I just noticed I did not go on the inside of his ears with the Jelly Roll glaze. I may have to go back and do that, but yeah, we're just going to move on. Next, Mystery Mosaics. I finally colored a picture out of this book. I had a lot of fun with this one. This was also for Danny Button's Scavenger Hunt. I did this werewolf here. Full Moon was the prompt that I used for this one. I did this one with my Crayola Super Tips. Not terribly pleased with how the Super Tips look. Again, watermarkers. I'm really struggling. I'm just not as huge of a fan. I may try alcohol markers in here because technically these are single-sided pages. So I may try to do that. The only thing though is that some of these squares are like half squares. So it's like half of one color and half of another color. And I just think alcohol markers might bleed past that. Like the bold lines around each square are really nice, but that kind of half line might make it challenging for alcohol markers. So I may try it and see what I think. I mean, overall, I think the image just as is with the Crayola Super Tips looks fine. But I don't know. I'm just not 100% sold that I have a great solution for this book yet. But I do like the image, and I did have a lot of fun coloring this. So this was really fun. And I was glad I got an image colored out of it. And then last but not least is a buddy color that I did with the amazing Danny Buttons. We did something a little bit different where we each picked a one-word prompt to describe the page that we were going to color in here. So we each picked a page. She gave me a one-word clue for her page. I gave her a one-word clue for my page. And her clue was sidekick, and so I actually got that one correct. And it was this page. It was this Mulan page, and I think this was Mushu and Mulan. I used the dot method in here. I got a little sloppy around here. You might kind of see that. I was getting kind of tired of drawing circles. I was kind of trying to finish this really quickly one night. But I do really like how this turned out, and so I got this one correct. The prompt that I gave her, I think, was the word third, and it was because it was the third image on the back of the book, and it was also the third Mulan image, like in the answers. So there weren't very many that had 3 images of the same character. So like here's 1, 2, and then 3. And she ended up picking Snow White, which was the other character that showed up 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And so this was actually the image that she ended up coloring, but that was the image that I chose. So I will show you, this is the completed page here. And I do really like the dot method in these. These squares are just kind of the right size, and I think they turn out really, really nice. And then I love the color palettes are pretty simple in these books, so I'm really, really, really happy with these kind of Hatchet Heroes pixel style books. These are probably my favorite pixel style book that I own this far, just because I have found a method that works, and Crayola Super Tips look really nice in here. They're not as streaky when you do the dot method. They don't have that streaky look to them, and so yeah, that works really, really well in this book. Oh, are you exhausted? I'm exhausted. That was a lot. So those are all of my completed pages for the month. I want to thank you for joining me for another video, and I hope to see you all next time. Hope you're doing well. Bye, guys.